Relax and stop chasing it. The very act of chasing something implies that it is running away from you. It suggests that what you desire is far from your grasp, that it must be pursued with urgency, with strain, with effort. But nothing could be further from the truth. What you seek is already yours. The problem is not in its availability, it is in your state of being. The chase only prolongs the distance between you and your desire because you declare with every anxious step, "It is not mine yet." That declaration is a command, and the world listens to it with unwavering loyalty. To relax is not to give up. To relax is to accept. It is to allow what is yours to come, not through force, not through desperate striving, but through inner certainty. When you close your eyes and feel the wish fulfilled, when you dwell in the assumption that all you desire is already fact, you stop running. You become still. And in that stillness, you begin to radiate the signal that calls it to you. You were not created to chase life. Life was designed to respond to your inner world. When your soul is calm, when your mind is at peace, when you dwell in the end as if it were already so, life organizes itself to reflect your state. That's the secret. The universe reflects your innermost assumptions, not your words, not your effort, not your chase, but your belief in the unseen. The world bends to the shape of your inner world. To relax means to trust. To stop chasing means to believe that what you have imagined is already moving toward you. It means letting go of the illusion of control and recognizing that your inner state is your true power. When you try to force things, you are declaring separation, you are affirming lack. But when you assume the feeling of the fulfilled desire and rest in it, you are declaring union, you are affirming abundance. You do not need to convince the world, you only need to convince yourself. That is where the true work lies. You can work tirelessly and still delay your desire if your inner state is filled with doubt. But one moment of pure assumption, one moment where you see it, feel it, and rest in it as truth, is more powerful than a lifetime of effort. Your outer reality is simply the echo of your inner convictions. You need not shout to be heard. You need only whisper it to your soul. Imagine what you want and feel as though it is already yours. Not tomorrow, not one day, now. The chase ends when the belief begins. The search ends when the knowing arises. You cannot force what is already yours, you can only accept it. Relax. Breathe. Let the tension dissolve. Let the urgency melt away. Let the mind fall quiet and the heart awaken to the truth. You are the creator of your reality. Your assumption is the seed. Your calm is the soil. Your belief is the sun. The harvest does not come by running through fields, but by trusting that what you planted must grow. Stop chasing. Close your eyes and receive. It is yours, not because you earned it through struggle, but because you dared to believe. The moment you begin to chase something, you declare with your entire being that you do not have it. Every step you take in pursuit of that desire is a subtle yet powerful affirmation that it is missing from your life. This is not merely about words or intentions, it's about the deep vibration you carry within. When you chase, you project lack. When you run after something with anxiety, with urgency, with the mindset of "I must get this," you create a state of resistance within yourself. You are saying, "It is out there and I am here and there is a gap between us." That gap, that perceived distance, becomes the very wall that keeps your desire from flowing effortlessly into your life. People often misunderstand this. They believe that hard pursuit is proof of desire. They believe that relentless action is the only way to make something real. But in spiritual truth, chasing is not the path to receiving. In fact, chasing is the clearest sign that you have not yet accepted your desire as yours. It is the denial of fulfillment, not the affirmation of it. The universe is not compelled by how badly you want something. It is moved by how deeply you believe it is already yours. When you chase, you radiate an energy of desperation. Desperation communicates fear, and fear always signals the absence of faith. It is impossible to be in faith and in fear at the same time. One cancels the other. The laws that govern creation do not respond to your words or your wishes. They respond to your inner state. And that state is always being broadcast whether you are aware of it or not. You can affirm abundance with your mouth and still radiate lack with your heart. You can visualize success and still carry an energy of unworthiness. You can pray for love while simultaneously believing you are not lovable. It is this contradiction between your conscious desires and your subconscious assumptions that keeps your manifestation just out of reach. Chasing something, even if it looks like determination on the surface, is often the evidence of this inner contradiction. To chase is to say, I do not have, and when you say that long enough, the world believes you. The mirror of life reflects back exactly what you project into it. You look at your current situation and you see absence. You see what's missing, what hasn't arrived, what hasn't changed, and then you act based on that observation. You try harder, you push more, you chase the thing with renewed intensity, thinking this effort will bridge the gap. But all you've really done is reinforce the belief that the gap exists. Chasing is a restless state. It is fueled by the idea that fulfillment is separate from you, that it lies somewhere in the future. But what if it didn't? What if the very thing you were chasing was already within reach, waiting not for more movement but for more stillness? What if the only thing delaying your desire was your refusal to believe that you could stop running? You must understand that your desire is not ignoring you, it is not hiding. It is responding to the message you are constantly sending it, and the most powerful message you can ever send is not, I want this, it is, I already have this. When you stand still in that truth, the energy shifts. Your being begins to align with the end, not the means. Your mind becomes quiet, your soul becomes open, your heart becomes a magnet, not a force. And in that stillness, in that sacred non-action, things begin to move in your favor, not because you chase them, but because you stop chasing. The chase creates resistance. It is like trying to hold water with a clenched fist. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. But when your hand is open, relaxed, receptive, the water rests in your palm. The same is true with life. The more you clench, the more you control, the more you force, the more your desire escapes you. But when you surrender the chase and return to a calm, assumed faith, life responds with favor. What was running from you turns around. What was hidden becomes visible. What was delayed finds a clear path. Chasing is not faith. Chasing is fear wearing the mask of ambition. It's the fear of not getting what you want dressed up as determination. It's the fear of being left behind, covered in the appearance of persistence. But your spirit knows better. Deep down, there is a knowing that what is truly yours cannot pass you by. And in that knowing, you find rest, you find peace. You find the courage to stop running, to stop striving, to stop grasping, and to begin dwelling in the assumption that it is already done. You do not have to chase what belongs to you. The flower does not chase the sun. It simply turns toward the light and blooms. The ocean does not chase the shore. It rises and falls in its rhythm, knowing the shore will meet it. So too must you return to your rhythm, the rhythm of trust, the rhythm of belief, the rhythm of surrender. When you return to that place, you no longer seek from a place of lack. You no longer act from a place of need. You begin to live as if the thing has already arrived, and in doing so, you make space for it to do exactly that. Chasing keeps you busy, but it does not make you magnetic. Chasing keeps you tired, but it does not make you worthy. Chasing keeps you focused on the future, but it robs you of the power of the now. and the now is the only place creation ever truly happens. To manifest is to dwell in the end as if it already were, not to exhaust yourself on the journey, trying to prove you're ready. Your readiness is not in your effort, it is in your alignment. It is in the moment you say quietly but confidently, I don't need to run after it, I already am it. That is when the chase ends. That is when the resistance dissolves. That is when life begins to return all that you have been longing for. Not because you pursued it, but because you believed. Creation begins in the unseen. Before anything appears in the physical world, it exists first in the realm of assumption. What you assume to be true within yourself becomes the foundation upon which your reality is built. Most people believe they must see it to believe it. But in truth, it is belief that makes the seeing possible. The creative act is not a matter of waiting for something to show up and then responding to it. It is the inner declaration, the silent conviction that it is already so, even when all evidence says otherwise. That is the secret most miss. Assumption is not a wish, it is a knowing. It is the deliberate act of accepting something as true within, long before the world has caught up. When you assume something, you are not asking for permission, you are not negotiating with reality. You are deciding, you are stepping into a state where the desire is no longer a desire, it is an experienced fact in your consciousness. And once it becomes real there, it must express itself outwardly. The outer world is nothing more than a mirror of the inner state. It reflects back not what you want, not what you hope for, but what you believe to be true about yourself and your life. People spend so much time trying to change their external world without realizing that the source of change is always internal. They work harder, push more, chase endlessly, and still remain stuck because the foundation of their effort is built on a shaky assumption that they do not yet have what they want. That assumption poisons every action. It colors every step with lack, with fear, with contradiction. And the universe responds to that contradiction by delivering more of the same. It does not discriminate between good or bad, wanted or unwanted. It simply reflects the seed planted in the soil of consciousness. To live in assumption is to live as if the end has already come. It is to walk, speak, think, and feel from the state of completion. This is not imagination for the sake of fantasy. It is imagination as a spiritual tool, a creative force that brings forth what is real but not yet visible. The world around you bends to the shape of your imagination. But only when that imagination is believed, assumed, embodied. If you imagine something and then doubt it immediately, you cancel the creation before it can take form. But if you imagine and then continue in that assumption, quietly, steadily, faithfully, you become a magnet for the fulfillment of that vision. Assumption is the bridge between desire and manifestation. It is not enough to want. It is not enough to dream. You must become the version of yourself who already has it. You must occupy that state so completely that it becomes second nature. That's when the shift happens. Not because the world changed, but because you did. The world is always reacting to your identity, not your struggle. When you identify as the one who already possesses the thing you desire, you send a signal that is unmistakable. That signal is what life responds to. It is not loud, it is not frantic, it is still, and yet it moves mountains. People misunderstand assumption as denial. They say, but how can I say I have it when I clearly don't? The answer is simple. You are not lying to yourself. You are choosing to believe the higher reality. You are choosing to step into the divine truth that all things exist now, and your consciousness is the key that unlocks them. Time is not the barrier, belief is. When you assume, you collapse the time it would take to reach the goal. You bring the end into the present. You experience the joy now, the love now, the wealth now, the healing now. And because you experience it now, life has no choice but to align itself with your new state. You can measure the effectiveness of your assumption not by how quickly things appear, but by how natural the assumption feels. If it still feels like pretending, then the state has not yet been fully accepted. But if it feels normal, if it feels like home, then you have entered the state that will inevitably bring about the desired outcome. The outer world cannot help but conform. It always conforms. The delay is never in the desire, it is in the assumption. The moment you shift, the world begins to rearrange. This is why you must guard your inner state more carefully than you guard anything else. It is your most sacred possession. It is the blueprint of your future. You must refuse to let fear rewrite it. You must not let doubt sabotage it. And most importantly, you must not let appearances deceive you into abandoning the truth you have assumed. The world may look unchanged at first. It may even seem to resist your assumption. But that is only the echo of the old state fading away. It has no power unless you feed it with renewed belief. Hold steady. Stay true. Let your assumption become so rooted within you that no outer circumstance can uproot it. Assumption is not a game. It is not a technique. It is a way of life. It is the quiet power that governs the unseen mechanics of your reality. Every great change begins with a silent shift within, not with noise, not with force, but with stillness and faith. You do not need anyone's permission to assume the life you want. You do not need signs or proof or validation. You need only the courage to believe in the invisible long enough for it to become visible. That is the essence of creation. That is the doorway through which all things enter. When you make assumption your dwelling place, not just your temporary hope, the impossible becomes ordinary. The distant becomes near. The desired becomes familiar. Life stops being something you chase and becomes something you allow. You walk differently, you speak differently, you breathe differently, and the world cannot help but notice. It begins to mirror your new state. Not because you forced it to, but because you finally stopped denying it. That is the moment when the shift becomes real. That is when the unseen becomes seen. Not by accident, but by law. Not by effort, but by assumption. Stillness is often misunderstood. To many it seems passive, like inaction or weakness. But stillness is the most powerful state a person can inhabit because it is rooted in complete confidence. When you are still, when your mind is at ease, when your soul is at rest, you are declaring to the universe that you already know, you already trust, you already believe. There is no need to panic, to scramble, or to force anything into place. Stillness says, I know it is done. And this knowing, this silent conviction is what makes you magnetic. It draws what you desire to you because it confirms within that you are no longer lacking, no longer doubting, no longer questioning the outcome. Struggle, on the other hand, is a signal of separation. It is the external evidence of an internal conflict. You may be working hard, taking action and appearing determined, but underneath all that effort may lie fear. Fear that it won't happen. Fear that you're not worthy. Fear that you're running out of time. That fear is what keeps you locked in a cycle of striving, chasing, and grasping. And because the universe mirrors your state of being, it continues to give you more to chase, more to fear, more distance between you and the thing you want. There is a very fine line between inspired action and fearful effort. Inspired action flows from stillness. It is gentle, intuitive, and aligned. It doesn't feel forced. It feels like a natural extension of your inner belief. When you act from this place, things move easily. People respond favorably, and paths open with little resistance. But when your actions are born out of anxiety, when they come from a place of needing to fix, prove, or control, you'll find that no matter how hard you try, nothing seems to work. Doors remain closed. Opportunities fall apart. Relationships grow strained. That's because struggle emits a frequency of desperation. And desperation never attracts what you truly want. It only reinforces the absence of it. You were not created to strive endlessly. You were not meant to be in a constant state of tension, always trying to pull life toward you. Life already wants to move toward you. Life already wants to give to you. But it can only do so when you become receptive. And you become receptive when you are still. Stillness does not mean doing nothing. It means doing everything from a place of peace. It means acting without fear, speaking without doubt, and moving without resistance. It is the state where your faith is greater than your fear. Your trust is stronger than your need to control. Many people are afraid of stillness because they equate it with laziness or stagnation. But the stillness that comes from inner alignment is far from idle. It is full of life, full of energy, full of power. It is the womb of creation. Just like the seed does not struggle to grow once planted, you too must trust that once your desire has been assumed, life will respond accordingly. The seed does not dig itself into the soil every day to make sure it's growing. It simply rests. It abides. And in that quiet confidence, it draws to itself everything it needs. Light, warmth, nourishment, without force, without fear. When you are still within, even if the outer world appears chaotic, you remain grounded. You are not swayed by appearances. You do not panic when things seem slow or stagnant. You understand that the process is unfolding even if you cannot yet see it. You no longer beg the universe to hurry. You no longer demand signs. You no longer doubt because things look the same. You rest in the knowing that your assumption is creating, and in due time it will manifest. The quietest moment often carries the greatest power. You do not need to push for things to happen. You need only to prepare yourself inwardly. If you are not receiving what you desire, it is not because you have not worked hard enough. It is because there is still some part of you that does not believe it is yours. That disbelief creates noise. It creates friction. It creates delay. Stillness clears the way. It allows you to connect with the version of you who already has it. And once you become that version, once you think, speak, act, and feel from that state, you magnetize everything aligned with it. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the presence of certainty. And certainty is the language the universe responds to. When you are certain, your energy shifts. Your frequency rises. You begin to attract from a place of fullness, not need. People sense it. Circumstances align with it. Opportunities gravitate toward it. You do not have to explain yourself. You do not have to defend your vision. You do not have to convince anyone of what is coming. Your stillness becomes your declaration. It becomes your power. It becomes the force that quietly draws all things to you without you having to chase them. Imagine two people standing in a room. One pacing back and forth, constantly checking the clock, anxious for something to arrive. The other sitting calmly, smiling, confident that what they desire is on its way. Who do you think receives faster? The one who is restless communicates that they're unsure, that they don't believe it's really coming. The one who is calm has already welcomed it in their spirit, and so life has no resistance to bring it forth. This is why struggle delays. It keeps your attention fixated on what you don't yet see, on what isn't working, on what might go wrong. It pulls your awareness away from the end and drags you back into the middle. But stillness anchors you in the end. Stillness lets you taste the outcome before it arrives. It is a rehearsal of the desired future, not a declaration that something greater is already unfolding. You must train yourself to find peace in the invisible, to become still, not only when things look good, but especially when they don't. That is where your true power is tested. That is where your faith becomes more than words. It becomes embodiment. When you can be still while the world is noisy, when you can hold your center while circumstances swirl around you, you have stepped into mastery. And from that place, you no longer attract what you fear, you attract what you are. You no longer live in reaction, you live in creation. You become the calm in the storm, the quiet center of a moving world, and everything begins to orbit around your stillness. Your inner state is the origin of everything that unfolds in your external world. It is not merely a background feeling or a fleeting emotion. It is the silent architect of your life's experiences. People look to circumstances, to other people, to luck or timing to explain the condition of their lives. But the real explanation is always within. The thoughts you consistently entertain, the feelings you allow to settle into your heart, the beliefs you hold about who you are and what you deserve, these are the blueprints from which your world is built. The outer reality is nothing more than a mirror, reflecting back the contents of your inner world. Many fail to grasp the power of their internal state because they are conditioned to believe that reality is fixed, that it is something to react to rather than something they create. They say, I feel poor because I am poor, or I feel lonely because no one loves me, not realizing that the feeling came first. The state of poverty, of loneliness, of lack, it was born, not from the world, but from within the self. And once accepted as truth, it began to express itself outwardly, forming events, drawing people, and shaping environments to match that inner conviction. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. You attract the sum total of your dominant thoughts, emotions, and assumptions. This is why change does not begin on the outside. You cannot decorate the surface of your life with temporary improvements while ignoring the chaos that rages within. Eventually, the outer world will crack and crumble to reflect the unrest you never addressed. If you want peace in your life, you must become peace. If you want love, you must become love. If you want success, you must see yourself as successful before any external marker arrives. The world cannot give you what you do not first give to yourself through the belief in its presence. This is not about pretending. It is not about ignoring difficulties or playing make-believe. It is about shifting identity. It is about choosing a new state of consciousness and dwelling in it until it becomes your new normal. Your inner state is not something static. It is fluid, and it responds to your focus. The more you give attention to fear, the more fearful you become. The more you dwell in gratitude, the more your world begins to expand with blessing. This is not coincidence, it is law. What you focus on expands, and what you feel repeatedly becomes your reality. You may say the right words, take all the right actions, and still see no change because your inner state has not shifted. You still carry the vibration of lack, of doubt, of frustration, and so the world gives you more of the same. It listens not to what you say, but to what you are. You can't cheat this process. You cannot cover fear with fake confidence or speak abundance while your heart whispers poverty. The universe is precise. It responds with absolute clarity to the frequency you broadcast. And that frequency is set by your dominant state of being. If you want to change your life, the first step is not external action, it is internal alignment. You must become aware of what you are radiating. Are you constantly worried? Do you feel unworthy? Do you secretly expect things to go wrong? These states, though subtle, are powerful. They sabotage your efforts not because life is against you, but because you are unknowingly reinforcing a story that is rooted in fear, and that story becomes the script by which your life plays out. If you wish to see a new story unfold, you must choose a new state to live from. This is why people can work hard for years and never move forward. Their effort is genuine, their desire is strong, but their inner state has not changed. They still believe that what they want is far away. They still feel like they are not enough. And so life mirrors that belief. Nothing shifts until the inner climate shifts. That is the secret of transformation. Not in the hustle, but in the harmony within. When you align your inner state with the outcome you desire, you begin to live from the end rather than striving toward it. You no longer say, "One day I will be," but rather, "I already am." And that shift changes everything. You feel different, you speak differently, you make decisions from a place of power rather than fear. The people around you sense the difference. Opportunities begin to come not because you chased them, but because you have become the kind of person they are drawn to. Your inner state is your true identity. It is the version of you that the world responds to. You cannot fool the mirror. If you look into it with sadness in your eyes and a smile on your face, the reflection will still show the sadness. Likewise, if you try to project confidence while harboring insecurity, the energy will betray you. The only way to change the reflection is to change what is standing before it. The only way to change your life is to change your inner state. This is the spiritual technology that governs creation. It is not mystical in the sense of being unknowable. It is mystical because it is invisible, yet more powerful than anything you can touch. When you take the time to cultivate a new inner reality, everything else begins to follow. Not immediately, perhaps, not in ways you might expect, but inevitably, consistently, and always in alignment with who you have decided to become on the inside. There is no power in begging the world to change. There is no strength in trying to control people or events or circumstances. The real power lies in mastering the self, in choosing joy when fear is loud, in holding peace when the storm rages, in believing you are already blessed, even when the evidence has not yet appeared. That kind of faith, that kind of identity reshapes everything. And from that foundation, your outer world becomes a living echo of your inner truth. Not because you forced it, but because you finally remembered who you really are and allowed the world to reflect it. There is a difference between effort and faith. Effort often arises from fear. Fear that if you don't act now, everything will fall apart. Fear that if you don't take control, your desire will never manifest. But faith is a quiet force. It does not rush. It does not panic. It does not demand proof. Faith sits calmly, knowing that what it has imagined, what it has assumed, must come to pass. This kind of faith is not loud or dramatic. It is subtle, unshakable, and anchored in truth. When you carry that kind of faith within you, you no longer feel the need to chase, to beg, or to force outcomes. You understand that everything you are meant to receive is already on its way. Not because you strained for it, but because you trusted it. Receiving requires stillness, not striving. When your heart is truly open, when your soul is aligned with what you've assumed, you stop looking outward for confirmation. You no longer check the clock or the calendar wondering when it will arrive. Instead, you begin to live as if it has already arrived. You carry the energy of someone who has already received. That energy, subtle and invisible, is what draws all things to you. The world is magnetized to the person who believes, not the one who tries to prove, not the one who needs constant reassurance, but the one who simply knows. You cannot force what you don't yet believe you deserve. You may want it with every fiber of your being, but if you are constantly trying to push your way into it, you're silently admitting that it's not yours yet. That admission, though quiet, is powerful. It speaks to the universe with more volume than any prayer or affirmation. It says, "I am still waiting." But the one who understands how creation works no longer waits. They prepare. They make room for it in their hearts, in their minds, in their lives. They walk through the day not in hope, but in possession. You must remember, force comes from fear, but faith comes from knowing. And knowing is what changes everything. When you stop needing to see results in order to believe, and instead believe first, you unlock a power that cannot be shaken by delay. Your current reality becomes irrelevant because you are no longer living from it, you are living from the state of fulfillment. And because that state is now your dwelling place, life begins to mirror it. There is great courage in not reacting to the absence of what you want. It takes strength to remain calm when nothing outside is changing, but you've changed on the inside. That is the essence of faith. Not in theory, but in practice. It is choosing the inner reality over the outer appearance. And that choice, though often difficult, is where all creation begins. When you trust the unseen more than what is seen, when you give your energy to the assumption rather than the evidence, you shift everything. This is why trying harder is often the very thing that blocks your desire. When you're trying, you're broadcasting a message of lack. You're saying, I don't have this yet, and I need to do something to get it. That message may be unconscious, but it's always received. The law does not respond to your effort, it responds to your state. And your state is most powerful when it is still, when it is certain, when it is anchored in the belief that it is already done. Receiving is not passive, it is intentional, it is not lazy, it is aware. When you truly receive, you are not just sitting and waiting. You are preparing your life around the assumption that your desire has already arrived. You make decisions differently. You speak differently. You feel differently. There is no need to prove anything to anyone, including yourself. You are not convincing, you are confirming. And in that confirmation, the world around you begins to shift. Consider how a person behaves when they know something wonderful is coming. They don't panic. They don't pace. They don't question every detail. They simply live in joyful expectation. That is the energy of true receivership. It is not found in the effort to manifest. It is found in the awareness that it is already yours. And because it's already yours, you don't chase it, you create space for it. You align your thoughts and emotions with it. You celebrate its coming before it arrives, because in your heart, it already has. The paradox is that the more you chase something, the more you keep it away. Chasing affirms separation, but receiving affirms unity. It says, this belongs to me, and I will welcome it when the time is right. That posture of trust opens doors that force will never open. It softens resistance. It quiets the noise. It brings you into harmony with the flow of life. And in that flow, everything begins to move on your behalf. Do not underestimate the power of resting in faith. It is not weakness, it is not avoidance, it is the highest form of trust. It says to the universe, I no longer doubt. That declaration, though invisible, is louder than any desperate action. It is a signal of surrender, not to fate, but to the truth of your assumption. You are not giving up. You are allowing. You are rising. You are rising. Rising into the version of yourself who already has what you once longed for. The greatest manifestations do not come to those who push the hardest. They come to those who believe the deepest. Those who carry the inner conviction that their desires are already done, already answered, already delivered in the unseen. They live as if the world has no choice but to comply with their inner vision. And so it does. Not because they demanded it, but because they trusted it. Because they let go of the need to chase. And in doing so, they created space to receive. This moment right now is divine. You are not here by accident, not listening to these words by chance. There are no coincidences in the great tapestry of life, only signs, only messages whispered into the depths of your soul. You have prayed, you have waited, and now the sign is before you. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. The reality you long for is not in some distant future, it is here, waiting for you to claim it. The world around you may look the same, but do not be deceived by appearances. What is unseen is more real than what is seen. Your desire, your vision, already exists in the unseen, waiting for you to bring it forth. The struggle, the delays, the disappointments, they were never meant to break you. They were meant to shape you, to prepare you for what is coming. You have endured, and now the moment approaches where the unseen becomes seen, where the promise manifests before your very eyes. Look no longer at lack. Look no longer at struggle. These things do not define you. What defines you is the truth within, the knowing that what you seek is already yours. The door is not locked. It has never been locked. The key was never in the hands of the world. It has always been within you. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle. You are not waiting for a breakthrough. It is waiting for you to step into the awareness that it is done. Doubt whispers that it will take time. Faith declares it is already here. The moment you accept that your desire is fulfilled, you step into a new state of being. You walk differently, think differently, speak differently. The world bends to meet you at the level of your belief. This is not theory, this is truth. You have seen glimpses of it before. Small moments where things aligned perfectly, where prayers were answered in ways you never expected. These were signs, reminders that you are never forgotten, never abandoned. Now, the greatest sign of all is before you. Do you feel it? That stirring within your spirit, that deep knowing that something is shifting, that is not imagination, it is confirmation. Everything you have walked through has led to this moment. The struggle is not the end, it is the doorway. You have been refined in the fire, and now you emerge stronger, clearer, ready. The breakthrough you seek is not in the hands of others, not in the opinions of the world. It is not waiting for the right circumstances, the perfect conditions. It is waiting for you. The moment you surrender doubt, the moment you release fear, the moment you say it is done, all of heaven moves to bring it forth. Doors that seem closed forever will open. Paths you never saw before will unfold. And you will know without a shadow of a doubt that this was never about struggle. It was always about faith. This moment is not ordinary, it is sacred. You have been drawn to this message not by accident, but by divine order. Everything within you has been seeking, longing, pressing forward, believing, and sometimes even doubting. But hear this now, your breakthrough is not far. It is not hidden in the distant future. It is here, in this very moment, waiting for you to awaken to its reality. The signs have been all around you, whispering to you in moments of silence, nudging you in dreams, revealing themselves in ways too perfect to be mere coincidence. And now, this is the confirmation, this is the sign. You have not been forgotten, you have not been abandoned. What you have been seeking is already seeking you. The world may have told you to wait, to be patient, to keep struggling, to accept that things take time. But the truth is, time is an illusion. The only thing that separates you from your breakthrough is your own awareness of it. What you desire, what you have prayed for, what you have cried for in the silent hours of the night is not something that must be earned. It is something that already belongs to you. The door is open, but only faith can walk through it. The mind that is caught in waiting, in longing, in doubting, will always see delay. But the mind that knows, the mind that accepts, the mind that declares it is done, will see it manifest as surely as the sun rises. You have been through much. You have faced struggles that others do not see. You have carried burdens that have tried to break you. But you are still here. You are still standing, and this is not because you are merely surviving, it is because you are being prepared. Every tear you have shed has watered the soil of your future. Every moment of pain has been shaping you, refining you, making you ready for what is coming. You may have thought the delays were setbacks, but they were setups. The moments of waiting were not moments of denial, they were moments of alignment, moments of preparation. Moments where your faith was being strengthened so that you could hold the weight of the blessing that is about to unfold. Feel this truth deep within you now. Everything that has been promised to you is already yours. You are not hoping for it, you are not chasing it, it is already done. The unseen is more real than the seen. The world around you is only a reflection of the beliefs you hold within. What you accept as true in your heart will be made visible before your eyes. And so, if you would dare to shift, if you would dare to rise above the noise of doubt and declare with absolute certainty that your breakthrough is now, then nothing in this world could stand against it. Look at your life not as it is, but as you desire it to be. See yourself already in possession of the blessing. Feel the joy of it. Walk in the confidence of it. Speak as though it is already done, because the moment you do, heaven moves on your behalf. Circumstances shift. People are placed in position. The impossible becomes possible, and what once seemed like a distant dream becomes your living reality. There is no force on earth that can stop what is meant for you. No mistake you have made, no obstacle in your path, no opposition from the world can delay what has already been ordained. The only thing that can delay it is the refusal to believe that it is yours. You do not need to beg for what is already yours. You do not need to struggle for what has already been given. The law of the divine is simple. What you believe, you receive. What you expect, you attract. What you accept, you become. And so, if you would only stand firm, if you would only claim your blessing with unwavering faith, if you would only declare with the authority that has been given to you, "It is mine," then you would see it unfold before your eyes. Fear may try to whisper that it is not possible. The mind may try to reason that it will take time. But faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith does not wait for proof. Faith does not ask for confirmation. Faith knows. And when you know, truly know, deep within your soul, that your breakthrough is now, then nothing in this world can keep it from you. There will always be voices that try to make you doubt. There will always be circumstances that try to shake your faith. But this is where you must stand firm. Do not waver. Do not shrink back. The blessing is not for the one who waits in fear. It is for the one who steps forward in boldness, for the one who refuses to accept anything less than what has already been given. You are not small. You are not powerless. You are not waiting for permission to receive what is yours. It is already done. Look around you now with different eyes. See beyond the temporary. See beyond the struggles. See beyond the delays. What you desire is already present in the unseen. It is already formed. It is already finished. You are not trying to create it. You are only aligning yourself with it. And the way you align is by believing, by declaring, by knowing. There will come a moment when you look back on this time and realize that the waiting was never truly waiting. It was a process of becoming, a process of stepping into the awareness that you were never without, never lacking, never forgotten. And when that moment comes, when the breakthrough appears, when the prayers are answered, when the doors open wide, you will know that it was never about struggle. It was always about faith. It was always about seeing beyond what the eyes can see and believing in the unseen with every fiber of your being. Hold fast now. Stand firm. Do not let go of this knowing. Your breakthrough is not just coming, it is here. It is done. It is yours. Everything is aligning. Even now, forces unseen are moving on your behalf. The shift has already taken place. What was once hidden is being revealed. What once felt far away is now within reach. There is no more waiting, no more delaying, no more wondering if you are worthy. You have always been worthy. The blessing has always been yours. The only thing left for you to do is claim it, to walk in it, to embody the truth that it is already done. The world may try to tell you otherwise. It may show you obstacles, struggles, and delays. It may try to convince you that things are not changing. But you must not look with the eyes of the flesh. You must look with the eyes of faith. What is seen is temporary. What is unseen is eternal. What you hold within your heart is more powerful than anything you can see around you. The circumstances do not define your reality. Your belief does. And if you believe now, if you accept now, if you declare now that your breakthrough is here, then nothing can stop it from unfolding. There is no force strong enough to hold back what is divinely ordained. No circumstance, no person, no past mistake can keep you from what has already been set in motion. The moment you chose faith over fear, the moment you decided to believe in the unseen rather than be swayed by what is in front of you, everything shifted. You may not see it yet with your eyes, but in the realm of the unseen it is already finished. The path has already been cleared, the doors have already been opened, the way has already been made. Hold on to this truth now. Let it sink deep into your spirit. You have come too far to turn back. You have endured too much to give up now. Every challenge, every trial, every delay has only served to make you stronger, to prepare you for the blessing that is unfolding. It was never a punishment. It was never meant to break you. It was meant to mold you, to shape you, to make you ready for what is coming. There is a version of you, a higher version, that already lives in the reality you desire. That version of you is confident, at peace, walking in abundance, surrounded by favor. That version of you does not doubt, does not worry, does not question. That version of you knows. And right now, in this moment, you have the power to step into that version of yourself. You have the power to embody the reality you've been longing for. You do not need to wait for circumstances to change. You must change first. The moment you shift, everything around you shifts. The signs have been everywhere. The confirmations have been coming. Every time you felt a deep knowing, every time you saw a small glimpse of what is possible, every time you felt an unshakable peace in the midst of uncertainty, that was a sign. That was proof that what you desire is not just wishful thinking. It is real. It is meant for you. You must now rise above doubt. You must now silence the thoughts that tell you it is not possible. You must now walk in the fullness of what has already been given, speak it as though it is already done, feel it as though it is already yours, carry yourself with the confidence of someone who already knows that they have received, because the moment you do, the entire universe must respond. Everything must align with the reality you hold in your heart. The breakthrough is not separate from you. It is not something you are trying to reach. It is something that already exists within you, waiting for you to fully accept it. Fear may try to creep in, but fear has no power here. Doubt may try to whisper, but doubt has no authority. The truth is stronger than any illusion. And the truth is, your life is changing even now. Things are shifting even now. The unseen is becoming seen even now. Every moment, every breath, every step you take in faith is bringing you closer to the visible manifestation of what has already been set in motion. You are not waiting for it to happen. It is already happening. Let go of the old. Release the thoughts that no longer serve you. Release the habits that keep you tied to the past. Release the belief that you must struggle to receive what is already yours. The moment you let go, the moment you surrender fully to the knowing that it is done, you will see the evidence unfold before your very eyes. The timing is perfect, the path is clear, everything is working in your favor. You do not need to know how it will happen. That is not your concern. Your only responsibility is to believe, to trust, to walk as if it is already yours, because it is. Everything you have been seeking is seeking you. Everything you have been waiting for has been waiting for you to step into alignment. The moment you match the frequency of your blessing, nothing can stop it from manifesting. Feel the shift now. Feel the peace that comes with knowing it is done. Feel the weight of doubt lifting, the burden of waiting dissolving. You are already there. You are already in the reality you desire. Time is an illusion. The only thing that matters is your belief in this moment. If you would dare to believe fully, to trust completely, to walk in absolute certainty, you would see miracles unfold before your very eyes. You have always been powerful. You have always been divinely guided. Every step, every moment, every experience has led you to this realization. And now you stand on the edge of the greatest breakthrough of your life. The only thing left to do is claim it, embrace it, walk in it. The time is now. The moment is here. It is already done. Every breath you take is a confirmation that life is moving in your favor. Every beat of your heart is proof that the unseen is working on your behalf. You are not separate from the power that creates worlds. You are not separate from the divine intelligence that governs all things. You are one with it. And because you are one with it, there is no struggle, no lack, no delay. only unfolding, only alignment, only the continuous expression of what has always been yours. What you are seeking is not outside of you. It is not something you must chase. It is something you must allow. It is something you must recognize as already existing within you. There is no distance between you and your breakthrough. There is no separation between you and your desire. The only separation is the illusion that you must wait, that you must strive, that you must prove yourself worthy. But you are already worthy. You were born worthy. The moment you understand this truth, everything shifts. The chains of limitation break. The weight of doubt disappears. The fear of failure vanishes. Because in that moment you realize you were never waiting for a breakthrough. Your breakthrough was waiting for you. Waiting for you to rise above doubt. Waiting for you to release fear. Waiting for you to claim what has always been yours. You do not have to beg for what has already been given. You do not have to plead for what is already yours. You do not have to seek permission for what was destined for you before time began. The universe does not operate in uncertainty. It does not hesitate. It does not second-guess itself. It moves with absolute certainty, with divine precision, with unwavering faith in its own perfection. And because you are one with that power, you must move in the same way. Walk as if you already have it. Speak as if it is already yours. Think as if the reality you desire is the only reality that exists. Because the moment you do, the moment you fully embody that knowing, the outer world has no choice but to conform. It must bend to the truth you hold in your heart. It must reflect the conviction that radiates from within you. The unseen must become seen. The invisible must become visible. The promise must become reality. There is no force strong enough to block what is divinely appointed for you. No obstacle is greater than the power that flows through you. No delay can outlast the certainty of a heart that believes. The only question is, will you believe now? Will you trust now? Will you let go of doubt now? Because the moment you do, everything you have been waiting for will flood into your life as if it had been there all along. There is no need to wait for permission. There is no need to wait for signs. The signs have already been given. Every moment of deep knowing, every whisper of intuition, every moment of peace in the midst of uncertainty has been a sign. Every time you felt a shift in your spirit, every time you caught a glimpse of what is possible, every time you felt an unshakable calm in the middle of the storm, that was a sign. A sign that it is already done, a sign that your breakthrough is not coming, it is here. Do not be distracted by what your eyes see. Do not be swayed by what circumstances suggest. The physical world is nothing more than a reflection of past thoughts, past beliefs, past assumptions. But the moment you change your belief, the moment you shift your assumption, the moment you decide that nothing can stop what is already yours, reality must obey. It has no choice. It is law. You are not a victim of life. You are the creator of your experience. You are not subject to circumstances. Circumstances are subject to you. The moment you take your rightful place as the author of your reality, everything changes. You no longer wait. You no longer hope. You no longer wonder if it will happen. You know. And because you know, it must be so. Feel the power of this truth. Let it wash over you. Let it sink into the deepest part of your being. Let it dissolve every lingering doubt, every old fear, every past hesitation. You are no longer who you were yesterday. You are no longer the person who questioned, who hesitated, who waited for proof before believing. You are now the person who knows, who trusts, who walks in certainty. Your breakthrough is not a distant dream. It is not a wish. It is not a possibility. It is a reality. A reality that already exists, waiting for you to claim it. And the moment you do, the moment you fully step into that truth, nothing can stop it from unfolding. The doors that seemed closed will swing open. The delays that seemed endless will vanish. The path that seemed uncertain will become clear. Because it was never about the external world. It was always about you, your belief, your knowing, your willingness to trust in what cannot yet be seen. You have been prepared for this moment. Everything you have faced, everything you have endured, everything you have overcome has led you to this realization. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was in vain. Every step, every lesson, every challenge was shaping you, refining you, making you ready to receive what has always been yours. You did not come this far to stop now. You did not endure so much just to turn back. The promise has already been fulfilled. The manifestation is already unfolding. The only thing left for you to do is accept it. Speak it now, claim it now, walk in it now, feel it now. Because the moment you do, the moment you truly believe, the world around you will shift in ways you never imagined. What seemed impossible will become inevitable. What seemed far away will become your present reality. What seemed like a dream will become the life you wake up to every single day. You have always been powerful. You have always been divinely favored. You have always been chosen. And now you stand at the threshold of the greatest breakthrough of your life. The only thing left to do is step forward in faith, knowing that it is already done. There is no force in this world that can keep from you what has already been written in your name. No delay is strong enough, no obstacle is large enough, no opposition is powerful enough to stop what has been divinely ordained. The moment you understand this, you no longer beg, you no longer plead, you no longer wait in uncertainty. You step forward in full confidence, knowing that your breakthrough is not a question of if, but when, and even that when is now. Everything that has happened up to this point has not been to harm you, but to prepare you. Every closed door was a divine redirection. Every disappointment was an unseen blessing. Every delay was an act of grace, ensuring that when you walk into your breakthrough, you will be ready to receive it fully, without fear, without hesitation, without doubt. You were never being denied, you were being refined. Your faith was being strengthened, your heart was being expanded, your mind was being renewed. You do not need to ask for what has already been given. You do not need to seek outside of yourself for confirmation of what is already unfolding. The evidence is within you, that deep knowing, that quiet assurance, that inner peace despite what your physical eyes see. That is the greatest sign you will ever receive. You would not have been given the vision if it were not already yours. You would not feel the pull toward something greater if you were not meant to experience it. The desire itself is the confirmation. The world will try to convince you otherwise. It will show you lack, it will show you limitation, it will show you reasons to doubt. But you must look beyond appearances. You must see beyond what is and focus on what is becoming. What you hold in your imagination, what you affirm in your heart, what you embody in your spirit, that is what determines what unfolds in your life. You are not bound by circumstances. You are not subject to statistics. You are not a prisoner of the past. You are a creator, a co-creator with the divine, shaping reality through the power of belief. It does not matter what has not happened yet. It does not matter what others say is possible or impossible. The moment you decide, the moment you step into the fullness of your faith, the unseen forces begin to rearrange themselves in your favor. The doors you thought were closed begin to open. The resources you thought were out of reach begin to appear. The opportunities you thought had passed you by begin to chase you down. Because nothing can resist the power of a mind that is fully convinced. You have waited long enough. You have doubted long enough. You have questioned long enough. Now is the time to trust. Now is the time to walk forward as if everything you have asked for is already here, because in truth it is. The moment you align yourself with the reality you desire, the moment you embody it in thought, in word, in action, in feeling, it must manifest. This is not wishful thinking. This is not a hopeful fantasy. This is law. You were created with the power to call things into existence. You were given the ability to move mountains, not by effort, but by faith. You were born to be limitless, yet you have allowed yourself to believe in limitation. You were born to walk in divine abundance, yet you have settled for lack. But no more. The time for hesitation is over. The time for uncertainty has passed. Now is the moment to stand firm, to plant your feet in the foundation of unwavering belief, to declare with absolute certainty that your breakthrough is here. Do not wait for physical proof before you believe. Do not wait for external validation before you act. Faith is not about seeing first, it is about knowing first. It is about feeling first. It is about becoming first. And when you do, the world has no choice but to catch up. Reality must reflect the conviction you hold. Circumstances must bend to the truth you embody. The unseen must become seen. The formless must be fulfilled. You have already won, you have already conquered, you have already received. The only thing left is for you to wake up to the truth of who you are and claim it. Stand in your power, walk in your authority, move with the certainty of someone who knows that nothing is missing, nothing is lacking, nothing is out of reach. Because when you do, you will realize that your breakthrough was never far away. It was always within you, waiting for you to recognize it, waiting for you to accept it, waiting for you to declare with unwavering faith that it is already done. You are not bound by the limitations of time or space. The truth of who you are transcends these constraints. The universe operates in perfect order, and within this order there is no delay, there is no waiting, there is only divine timing, and divine timing is always right on time. What you have been desiring, what you have been working toward is already in motion. It has already begun to unfold, even if your eyes cannot see it yet. Even if your mind cannot fully comprehend it, know this: it is closer than you think. What you are experiencing right now is not a setback, it is a setup for the greatness that is about to enter your life. All of the challenges, the obstacles, the struggles, they are the divine preparation for the breakthrough you are about to experience. You could not have arrived at this moment without passing through these tests. They were necessary. They were part of the process. They were never meant to break you, but to shape you into the person you are now, strong, resilient, and ready to step into your power. The universe never sends you anything you are not capable of handling. It may seem hard at times, it may seem overwhelming, but in those moments, you are being prepared for something greater. When the pressure is high, it is because you are being forged into something more powerful than you ever thought possible. You are a diamond being formed in the fire. You are a tree with deep roots, growing in the storms. The challenges you face are not here to destroy you. They are here to strengthen you, to refine you, to mold you into the version of yourself that is capable of receiving the fullness of the blessings that are coming. Understand that nothing happens by accident. Everything you are going through is part of a larger plan, a divine orchestration that is working for your good. Even when things seem unclear, when it feels like the world is against you, know that everything is happening according to divine order. The forces of the universe are aligning to bring you exactly what you need at the exact right time. It may not come in the way you expect, it may not come in the package you imagined, but it will come. And when it does, it will be exactly what you need to fulfill your purpose and step into the life you have always dreamed of. Do not be discouraged by the time it seems to take. Do not be disheartened by the delays that appear. What you are waiting for is not out there, far off in the distance. It is already here in the unseen, in the energetic realm. It is already taking shape. And the moment you shift your perception, the moment you align your thoughts and feelings with the knowing that your breakthrough is imminent, you will see it materialize before your eyes. The key is to remain steadfast in your faith, no matter what your circumstances may suggest. The moment you give up, the moment you stop believing, is the moment the manifestation slips further away. But if you hold on, if you keep moving forward with the confidence that what you desire is already yours, then the universe will have no choice but to bring it into your physical reality. Your power lies in your ability to believe without seeing, to trust without evidence, to know without proof. This is where your strength is found. The world may try to convince you that you need to see it to believe it, but that is the very opposite of the law of creation. You must first believe it to see it. You must first feel it in your heart and soul before it can ever manifest in your life. Your inner world shapes your outer world. Your character, your own, what you feel, what you believe, what you expect. This is what the universe will deliver to you. When you begin to live with the knowing that your breakthrough is already here, you stop searching for signs. You stop waiting for external confirmation. You stop questioning the process. You trust fully and completely that what you have asked for is already on its way. And the moment you align yourself with that truth, the universe begins to work in your favor. Things start falling into place. Opportunities begin to present themselves. People, resources, and situations that will support you in your journey start to appear out of nowhere. Understand that this is not by chance, this is not a coincidence. This is the law of attraction at work. This is the law of manifestation. This is the power of your thoughts and beliefs shaping your reality. And the more you focus on what you want, on what is already yours, the more it will come to you. But the key is to believe it now, to know it now, to feel it now. You must walk in the faith that your breakthrough is already unfolding. You must speak it as though it is already here. You must act as though it is already done. And when you do, you will begin to see the results in your life. What you seek is already seeking you. What you desire is already desiring you. The universe is conspiring in your favor. And when you recognize this, when you fully embody the belief that everything you need is already on its way, you will begin to attract everything that aligns with your vision. Do not look to your past for evidence of what is to come. Your past is not a reflection of your future. Your past is simply a series of experiences that have led you to this moment. It is what you do now, in this moment, that determines your future. It is your belief in the unseen, your trust in the divine process, that will determine the shape of what is to come. The breakthrough is not a future event. The breakthrough is now. It is happening right now, in this moment. The question is, are you ready to receive it? Are you ready to step into the fullness of your power? Are you ready to claim what is already yours? You have been prepared for this moment. Everything that has come before has been part of the grand plan. The challenges, the victories, the lessons, they have all been preparing you for the greatness that is about to unfold in your life. You are not the same person you were a year ago. You are not the same person you were a week ago. Every experience has shaped you, has refined you, has made you ready for the breakthrough that is now on its way. Your breakthrough is not just about a new job, a new relationship, a new opportunity. Your breakthrough is about stepping into the full realization of who you are. It is about awakening to your divine potential, to your true power. It is about embracing the truth that you are already whole, already complete, already worthy of every blessing the universe has to offer. And once you step into that truth, once you fully embrace your divine nature, the breakthroughs will come flooding into your life. Not because you have to work for them, not because you have to strive, but because you are now aligned with the energy that attracts them. You are now a magnet for everything you desire. The breakthrough you have been waiting for is not a distant dream, it is already yours. And the moment you believe that, the moment you embody that truth, it will appear in your life in ways you never imagined possible. You will look around and see that everything you have asked for is already here, unfolding before your eyes. And you will know, without a shadow of a doubt, that it was always meant to be. You have been prepared, whether you realize it or not, for the moment of your breakthrough. Every experience, every trial, every setback has been part of the greater divine plan. These moments have not been random. They have been necessary to build your resilience, your strength, and your trust. Every seemingly negative situation was not a sign of defeat. It was a lesson that brought you closer to your ultimate victory. Every obstacle was not an enemy to be feared, but a stepping stone that elevated you to new heights. The world will try to tell you that the road to success is difficult, that it is reserved for the lucky or the special. It will show you evidence that life is a struggle, that not everyone gets what they want, but you must ignore that. You must refuse to accept that narrative, because the truth is that you were never meant to struggle indefinitely. You were never meant to wait endlessly for a breakthrough that never comes. The breakthrough is already here. It is within your grasp, and it has always been within you. You see, the key to unlocking your breakthrough lies not in waiting for it to happen, but in becoming the person who is ready for it. It is about shifting your perception. It is about stepping into a new consciousness, a higher way of thinking. When you begin to align yourself with the truth of who you are, a divine being, a co-creator with the universe, everything begins to shift. The world around you responds to your energy. Your thoughts and feelings become magnetic, drawing the people, resources, and opportunities that you need into your life. The breakthrough is not something that happens outside of you. It is not an event that occurs in the physical world and then changes your life. The breakthrough is a shift in consciousness, a deep inner knowing that you are worthy of all the good the universe has to offer. It is the realization that you are not waiting for something to come to you. You are not waiting for permission or for the right circumstances to align. You are the creator of your reality. And when you understand this fully, everything in your life will begin to change. The reason you have not seen the breakthrough yet is because you have been waiting for external circumstances to shift, for things outside of yourself to change. But the moment you decide that you are worthy of your breakthrough, the moment you truly believe that it is already yours, everything begins to shift from within. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, they all begin to align with the reality you are creating. And when this happens, the external world has no choice but to reflect your new inner state. You are constantly creating your reality, whether you are aware of it or not. Every thought, every belief, every feeling that you hold shapes your experiences. The universe does not operate on the basis of what you want. It operates on the basis of what you believe to be true. If you believe that your breakthrough is far off, that it is difficult to attain, that it will take years to manifest, then that is what will show up in your life. But if you choose to believe that your breakthrough is already here, that it is within your reach, that it is happening now, then that is the reality that will materialize. This is the power you hold. It is the power of belief, the power of faith, the power of knowing that what you desire is already on its way. When you shift your focus away from what you don't have and begin to focus on what you already possess, the inner strength, the wisdom, the clarity, the love, the breakthrough you've been waiting for will arrive effortlessly. When you stop seeking validation from others and start trusting your own inner guidance, the doors will open. When you stop trying to figure everything out with your logical mind and start trusting in the process, the universe will conspire in your favor. You are a magnet for your desires. What you focus on, you attract. What you believe, you manifest. And so it is essential that you believe that your breakthrough is coming, that it is already here in some form. The moment you believe it, the moment you accept it, you begin to attract it into your life. This is not just wishful thinking. This is the way the universe works. This is how creation happens. The moment you align your thoughts and beliefs with the reality you desire, you will see evidence of it all around you. You will see signs, synchronicities, opportunities, and people that support your vision. It will feel like everything is falling into place effortlessly. You won't have to chase after things or force them to happen. Everything will begin to flow, and you will step into your breakthrough with ease and grace. It may not happen in the exact way you expect, and it may not arrive in the way you've been hoping for, but it will come. It will always come. The breakthrough is not about the form it takes. It is about the essence of it, the feeling of expansion, the sense of fulfillment, the knowing that you have become who you are meant to be. That is the true breakthrough, and it is already happening within you. You may be wondering how to make this shift in your thinking, how to change your beliefs and align yourself with the truth of your breakthrough. It begins with self-awareness. It begins with understanding that your thoughts are powerful, that your beliefs are shaping your reality every single day. Take a moment to reflect on what you truly believe about yourself, about your future, about the possibilities that lie ahead. Are your beliefs aligned with your dreams, or are they rooted in fear and doubt? If you find that your beliefs are not aligned with what you want, Begin to change them. Start by affirming the truth that you are worthy of your breakthrough. Speak it out loud, write it down, feel it in your body. Every time doubt arises, replace it with an affirmation of your power and your worth. Know that you are deserving of every blessing, every opportunity, every dream that you desire. Visualize your breakthrough as if it has already occurred. See it in your mind's eye. Feel the emotions of having already received it. Immerse yourself in the experience of it and let that feeling become your reality. When you do this, you are creating a new blueprint for your life. You are planting seeds of belief that will eventually manifest in the physical world. The moment you start aligning yourself with the truth that your breakthrough is already here, the universe will begin to rearrange itself in your favor. You will no longer feel like you are chasing after your dreams. Your dreams will begin to chase you. You will become a magnet for the people, situations, and opportunities that are needed to bring your vision to life. Remember, there is no force in this world that can keep you from what is already meant for you. There is no circumstance, no challenge, no setback that can prevent your breakthrough from coming. It is already yours. It is waiting for you to step into it. And the moment you do, the world will open up to you in ways you could never have imagined. Your breakthrough is not a future event. It is a present reality. It is happening now. And when you fully embrace this truth, you will step into a life of limitless possibility. Your breakthrough is not a distant dream or a far-off hope. It is an unfolding reality that begins within you. The moment you truly accept that everything you need, everything you desire, is already aligned and waiting for you, the world around you will begin to shift. You are the creator of your reality, and the universe is responding to the energy you put out. As you let go of doubt and embrace your power, as you choose to believe in the certainty of your breakthrough, it will manifest effortlessly in your life. Know this: the path to your breakthrough is not a path of struggle or uncertainty. It is the path of faith, belief, and alignment with your highest truth. It is already unfolding. The opportunities are arriving. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. The question is not whether it will come. It already is. The question is, will you trust in it, believe in it, and step into it with full confidence? Step forward with the certainty that everything you desire is already on its way. Your breakthrough is now. Embrace it. There is a power within you, a force so absolute that it shapes the very fabric of your reality. It is not outside of you, not in the circumstances that surround you, but in the consciousness you embody. The world you see is nothing more than a reflection of the state you occupy. Change the state and the world must conform. You do not wait for proof, you do not beg for signs, you assume, you embody, and you walk in the certainty that all you desire is already yours. You do not hope for wealth, for love, for success. You live as though they are already a part of you, not with pretense, not with effort, but with the deep knowing that what you claim in mind must manifest in form. You do not chase, you do not grasp, you do not seek confirmation. You act from the end as the one who already possesses it. The world may call it delusion, but the world only sees the outer shell of things. The one who understands the law knows that all appearances are but shadows cast by the unseen. If you wish to be loved, you must walk as the one who is already adored. You do not need validation, for you carry within you the certainty of your worth. If you wish to be wealthy, you do not worry about lack, for the wealth is already yours in consciousness. You move, you speak, you think as one who has everything, not in arrogance, but in quiet confidence. For the one who truly has does not need to prove it. The feeling is the secret, the conviction, the unseen claim that draws all things into alignment. Your senses may tell you otherwise. They may whisper of lack, of absence, of limitation. But the senses are the servants of the mind, not its master. You do not react to what appears, you impose the truth of your assumption upon the world. You persist, unwavering, until what was once invisible becomes undeniable fact. You have already received all that you desire. You do not need permission to claim it. Walk as though you have it now, and reality must follow. Your reality is a reflection of your state of consciousness. Everything you see, experience, and encounter in your daily life is a direct manifestation of the thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions you hold within. The world outside is not separate from you, but an extension of your inner world. Change how you see yourself, how you perceive your circumstances, and the world must shift in response. You are not a passive observer of reality, you are its creator. What you consistently accept as true within your mind shapes the conditions you experience. Most people believe that circumstances dictate their state of mind. They allow the external world to control how they feel, react, and live. If they see lack, they believe in lack. If they experience rejection, they assume they are unwanted. They wait for the world to change before they feel different. But this is an illusion. The world is only mirroring back what they are dominantly conscious of. The mind is the source, the world is the effect. The mistake is in thinking the effect has the power to change the cause. To truly understand this principle, you must reverse your approach to life. Instead of reacting to what is, you must determine within yourself what will be. Your inner world must take precedence over external conditions. The moment you accept a new state of consciousness as your truth, the world begins to shift in unseen ways to reflect it. You do not need to force change upon the outer world. You only need to persist in your new assumption, and reality will rearrange itself accordingly. Think of the world as a mirror. If you stand before a mirror with a frown, you cannot demand the reflection to smile first. You must change your expression, and only then will the reflection change. The same principle applies to life. If you desire abundance but hold on to thoughts of lack, the world will continue to reflect scarcity. If you wish to be loved but persist in feeling unworthy, you will attract situations that confirm that belief. The world does not give you what you want, it gives you who you are, in consciousness. This is why it is essential to become deeply aware of your dominant thoughts and emotions. Every moment you are shaping your reality by what you accept as true. If you wake up each day feeling defeated, expecting hardship, and doubting your own power, you will continue to experience situations that reinforce those feelings. But if you begin each day with the conviction that you are powerful, worthy, and abundant, the world will respond accordingly. It is not enough to simply wish for change, you must embody it. You must live from the assumption that what you desire is already yours. This means thinking, feeling, and acting as the person who already possesses everything they seek. It is not about pretending or forcing, but about truly believing in the reality of your new state. When you assume a new consciousness, your entire vibration shifts, attracting to you the people, opportunities, and circumstances that match it. The moment you change your state of consciousness, you set into motion an invisible process of transformation. The world may not shift instantly, but the change has begun. Just as a seed does not sprout the moment it is planted, reality takes time to reorganize itself around your new assumption. Your only task is to remain faithful to the state you have chosen, trusting that what you hold within will inevitably be expressed without. No matter what your current circumstances may be, they are only a reflection of past assumptions. They do not define you, nor do they have the power to limit you. The only thing that matters is what you now choose to believe. Accept the truth that you are the creator of your experience, and you will no longer feel powerless in the face of life. You will understand that by shifting your inner world, you can shift any external condition. Reality is fluid, shaped entirely by consciousness. You do not need to change the world, you only need to change yourself. The outer world is simply a mirror. Change your inner state, and the reflection must follow. The key to manifesting anything in life is to assume and embody the feeling of already having it. Most people live in a state of wanting, constantly looking at their desires as something distant, something they must strive toward. But desire, when viewed as separate from you, remains just that, something outside of you. The secret is to step into the state of already having, already being, and already experiencing what you wish for. You must not wait for external confirmation before you believe in your new reality. You must claim it within first, and the outer world will follow. Everything you experience is shaped by your inner world, your beliefs, assumptions, and emotions. When you assume a state, you begin to think, act, and feel as if it were already true. And because consciousness is the only reality, what you persistently assume will eventually become your physical experience. The world does not operate on effort alone. It operates on vibration, frequency, and alignment. If you are constantly yearning for something, you are affirming its absence. But when you embody the feeling of already possessing it, you send out a signal that attracts it to you effortlessly. Think of a person who is confident in their wealth. They do not obsess over money, nor do they question whether they will have enough. They live with a quiet assurance that wealth is theirs. This inner knowing shapes their actions, their decisions, and their interactions with the world. They carry themselves differently, they speak differently, and opportunities naturally gravitate toward them. Contrast this with someone who feels financially insecure. They are always in a state of worry, fear, and lack. Their mind constantly affirms scarcity, and as a result, their world reflects that back to them. The difference between these two individuals is not in their external circumstances, but in their inner states. To assume and embody your desire, you must first ask yourself, if I already had what I want, how would I feel? This question is the gateway to transformation. Once you determine the feeling, you must cultivate it within you until it becomes your natural state. If you desire love, embody the feeling of being deeply loved and cherished. If you desire success, assume the confidence of one who is already successful. Do not wait for external proof. Act as though your wish is already fulfilled. One of the greatest obstacles people face is doubt. The logical mind wants to question, to seek evidence before believing. But reality does not work that way. The unseen comes before the seen. Your consciousness precedes your circumstances. Just as a sculptor sees the finished work in their mind before shaping the stone, you must see yourself as already possessing your desire before it takes form. The mistake many make is to wait for the world to change before changing their inner state. But the law is clear. What you assume within must be expressed without. A simple yet powerful exercise is to live each day as though your desire has already manifested. If you were already living in your dream home, how would you walk through it? If you already had the perfect relationship, how would you feel waking up next to your partner? If you were already successful, how would you approach your work? Embody these feelings now, and the world will rearrange itself to match them. It is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about shifting your consciousness to a new state of being. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts the impressions you give it. When you consistently assume a new state, the subconscious begins to accept it as truth. This is why visualization is such a powerful tool. When you close your eyes and imagine yourself already living your desired reality, you impress that image upon your subconscious. If done with feeling and persistence, this image begins to solidify in your outer world. However, assumption is not just about visualization. It is about living in the state of the wish fulfilled. This means not contradicting your assumption with thoughts of doubt, fear, or impatience. Many people assume for a moment and then immediately return to their old state of lack, undoing the work they have done. True assumption requires faith and persistence. You must hold on to your new state regardless of what the outer world currently shows you. Think of a seed planted in the ground. You do not dig it up each day to check if it is growing. You trust that it is taking root, even when you see nothing on the surface. The same principle applies to your desires. Once you have assumed them, you must trust that they are unfolding even if there is no immediate evidence. The world may seem unchanged at first, but beneath the surface, forces are aligning in your favor. Your job is not to figure out how your desire will manifest. The how is not your concern. The moment you try to control the process, you introduce resistance. Your only responsibility is to maintain the assumption, to live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and to let reality take care of the details. The path to manifestation will reveal itself in ways you could never predict, often through a series of seemingly natural events. This is not about blind faith, but about understanding the mechanics of consciousness. When you assume and persist in a new state, you activate a law that is as certain as gravity. You may encounter tests, moments where the old reality seems to fight back, but these are merely reflections of past assumptions. Do not be swayed by them. Remain steadfast, knowing that what you hold within must externalize. The moment you fully embody your desire, without needing external confirmation, is the moment you shift into alignment with it. You do not need to seek, strive, or beg for what is already yours. Walk as though you have it now, and reality will have no choice but to comply. The way you think, feel, and act in this present moment determines what unfolds in your life. Reality does not respond to wishful thinking or fleeting desires. It mirrors back your dominant state of being. If you desire wealth, success, or love, you must not wait for external circumstances to change before you feel worthy or abundant. You must embody that feeling now, living in the assumption that what you seek is already yours. When you carry yourself with the certainty of someone who has already received their desire, the world has no choice but to reflect that truth back to you. Most people live in reaction to what is. They look at their current circumstances and allow them to dictate their emotions and beliefs. If their bank account is low, they feel poor. If they are single, they feel unloved. If their career is stagnant, they assume they are not meant for success. But this is the opposite of how reality truly works. Your outer world is nothing more than a mirror of your inner state. It does not create your consciousness. It reflects it. If you continue to wait for circumstances to change before you feel different, you will remain stuck in the same cycle, repeating the same experiences over and over again. The power lies in shifting your internal state first. Instead of looking to the world for proof that you are successful, wealthy, or loved, you must cultivate that feeling within yourself. This does not mean forcing positivity or denying your current reality. It means choosing to align your thoughts and emotions with the version of yourself that already has what you seek. The more you persist in this state, the faster reality conforms to it. The key is consistency, remaining unwavering in your assumption, regardless of what your senses may tell you. Consider how a person who already possesses what you desire would think and behave. If you seek financial abundance, how would a wealthy person approach their day? They would not dwell on lack, stress over bills, or question whether money is coming to them. They would operate from a mindset of security, ease, and confidence. They would make decisions based on abundance, not fear. If you wish to attract love, how would someone who is deeply cherished and adored carry themselves? They would not feel desperate or unworthy. They would exude self-assurance, peace, and contentment. If success is your goal, how does a successful person move through life? They trust in their abilities, they take bold actions, and they know that opportunities flow effortlessly to them. When you begin to embody these qualities before the physical evidence appears, you activate the unseen forces that shape reality. Your energy shifts, and so does the way people and circumstances respond to you. You no longer operate from a state of lack, waiting for something outside of you to make you feel whole. Instead, you generate the feeling internally, and the world must mirror it back to you. Many people struggle with this concept because they have been conditioned to believe in the limitations of the physical world. They trust what their eyes see more than what their mind creates. But the truth is, what you see now is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. If you continue to react to the current state of things, you will keep creating more of the same. The only way to break free is to start seeing beyond the physical, to trust in the unseen, and to hold the assumption that your desire is already yours. Doubt is one of the biggest obstacles in this process. The logical mind wants to question, analyze, and demand proof, but manifestation does not operate on proof. It operates on faith and persistence. The moment you give in to doubt, you undo the work of assumption. If you plant a seed and constantly dig it up to see if it is growing, you will disrupt its process. The same applies to your desires. Once you have assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you must trust that it is unfolding, even if there are no immediate signs. Your job is not to worry about how your desire will come to pass. The how is never your responsibility. The mind is limited in its ability to predict the infinite ways in which reality can shift. The only thing you must do is remain faithful to your new state of being. The means will reveal themselves naturally through a series of seemingly ordinary events that in hindsight will appear perfectly orchestrated. The more you try to force or control the process, the more resistance you create. Let go of the need to figure it all out. Assume the feeling, persist in it, and allow reality to catch up. A powerful practice is to begin each day as if your desire has already been fulfilled. Before you even step out of bed, take a moment to feel the emotions you would feel if your manifestation were already a reality. Walk through your day with the confidence, joy, and ease of someone who already possesses what they seek. Speak, act, and think as if you are already living in that reality. This is not about pretending or tricking yourself. It is about shifting your inner state so completely that the world must conform to it. Think of an actor who fully immerses themselves in a role. They do not simply recite lines, they become the character. Their thoughts, emotions, and mannerisms align with the role they are playing, and in doing so, they bring that character to life. In the same way, you must fully embody the version of yourself who already has what you desire. When this becomes your dominant state, manifestation is inevitable. Patience and persistence are key. Many people give up too soon because they do not see immediate results. They assume that because nothing appears to be changing on the surface, their assumption is not working. But just as a seed grows beneath the soil before sprouting into view, your new reality is taking shape even when you cannot see it. The timing of its appearance depends on your ability to remain faithful to your assumption. If you waver between belief and doubt, you delay the process. But if you hold steady, refusing to entertain thoughts of failure or lack, your new reality will manifest in ways beyond your imagination. It is also important to detach from needing your desire to manifest in a specific way. The universe is limitless in its capacity to bring your assumption into form. If you become fixated on one particular outcome, you may block even greater possibilities. Hold your vision, but remain open to the infinite ways it can unfold. The feeling is what matters, not the specific details of how it arrives. The moment you stop looking outside for confirmation and start generating the feeling from within, you shift into a state of true power. You no longer chase, strive, or struggle. You simply are, living as if your wish is already fulfilled, knowing that reality has no choice but to reflect that truth back to you. Every experience in life is a reflection of your inner world. The thoughts you entertain, the emotions you dwell in, and the assumptions you hold shape the reality you live in. If you believe you are lacking, if you see yourself as someone who is always struggling, then life will continuously provide circumstances to confirm that belief. If you walk through the world feeling unworthy, people will mirror that back to you. If you carry the assumption that things never work out for you, you will find yourself in a constant state of frustration. You are always living in the reflection of what you assume to be true about yourself and the world. The key to transformation is recognizing that your assumptions are not passive thoughts. They are creative forces shaping the very fabric of your experience. If you assume you are abundant, life responds with abundance. If you assume you are loved, you encounter love in unexpected ways. If you assume success is inevitable, the path to success unfolds before you, often in ways you never could have planned. It is not about wishing or hoping, it is about knowing. Assumption is the act of accepting something as fact before it appears in the physical world. It is the unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours, even if the senses have not yet caught up. Most people live by the evidence of their senses. They look at their bank account, their relationships, or their circumstances, and use what they see to determine what they believe is possible. But reality does not work that way. The external world is a delayed reflection of the internal world. The thoughts you held yesterday, the emotions you dwelt in last week, and the beliefs you carried last month are shaping your current experience. If you want to change what you see, you must first change what you assume to be true. This requires a radical shift in how you move through life. You can no longer afford to be a passive observer, reacting to circumstances as they appear. You must take control of your inner world and decide with conviction that what you desire is already yours. Assume it boldly. Walk through life as though your wish is already fulfilled. Feel the joy, the relief, the excitement that you would feel if you had it now. Do not look to the outside world for validation. Let your assumption be enough. This does not mean ignoring reality or pretending something exists when it does not. It means understanding that reality is fluid, constantly reshaping itself to match your dominant state of being. You are not bound by what is. You are bound only by what you believe is possible. If you assume lack, you will see lack. If you assume wealth, you will see wealth. If you assume health, you will see health. It all begins with assumption. Consider someone who desires financial freedom but constantly worries about money. They may work hard, set goals, and take action, but if their dominant assumption is that money is scarce, they will continue to struggle. Their actions may be in the right direction, but their internal state contradicts their desire. The external world does not respond to effort alone. It responds to the assumption behind the effort. If this person shifts their assumption and begins to believe with certainty that they are financially abundant, they will start to see evidence of that belief. New opportunities will arise. Unexpected sources of income will appear, and they will begin to experience the wealth they assumed was theirs. The same principle applies to relationships. If someone believes deep down that they are unworthy of love, they will attract relationships that confirm that belief. They may meet people who treat them poorly, who are emotionally unavailable, or who reinforce feelings of rejection. But if they shift their assumption and begin to see themselves as deeply loved and cherished, the outer world must reflect that new assumption. They will encounter people who respect, appreciate, and adore them, not because they changed the external world, but because they changed their internal world. This is why assumption is the foundation of all manifestation. It does not matter how much action you take or how many affirmations you repeat. If your dominant assumption contradicts your desire, you will not see lasting change. Your subconscious mind accepts what you assume to be true, and it rearranges reality accordingly. This is why some people seem to attract success effortlessly, while others struggle for years with no results. It is not luck, it is not chance, it is assumption. Those who succeed assume they will succeed, and so they do. Those who fail assume failure is inevitable, and so it is. Doubt is the greatest enemy of assumption. The moment you question whether your desire is possible, you introduce resistance. Doubt is an assumption in itself, an assumption that what you want may not happen. The mind will always try to present reasons why your assumption is unrealistic. It will remind you of past failures, point out obstacles, and insist that reality does not change so easily. But the mind is only repeating what it has been conditioned to believe. The truth is, reality is far more malleable than most people realize. It is constantly being shaped by the assumptions you hold, whether consciously or unconsciously. To master assumption, you must learn to persist. You must hold to your belief, even when the outer world has not yet changed. You must remain unwavering in your conviction, knowing that your assumption is more real than what your senses tell you. If you assume wealth, do not let a temporary financial setback shake your belief. If you assume love, do not let an argument or a period of loneliness make you doubt. If you assume success, do not let a temporary failure convince you otherwise. These are simply echoes of past assumptions playing out. Stay firm in your new belief, and the world must conform. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen an assumption is to act in accordance with it. If you assume you're wealthy, carry yourself with the confidence of someone who is financially secure. If you assume you are loved, move through the world with the assurance of someone who is cherished. If you assume success, take actions as though success is already yours. This does not mean reckless spending, arrogance, or blind faith. It means aligning your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with the version of yourself that already has what you seek. The more you embody the assumption, the faster it solidifies into reality. At first, this may feel unnatural. The mind may resist, offering reasons why your assumption is unrealistic. But do not be discouraged. This is simply the old programming fighting to maintain control. The key is persistence. Continue to assume, continue to feel, continue to believe, and eventually the mind will accept the new reality as fact. And once it does, the world will change to reflect it. There is no force outside of you determining what you can or cannot have. You are the creator of your experience, shaping reality through the assumptions you hold. If you want something, assume it is already yours. Live in that assumption. Breathe it, feel it, walk in it. The world has no choice but to align itself with the reality you assume to be true. Everything in your life is a reflection of the state of being you persistently assume to be true. You cannot separate yourself from your assumptions, for they dictate what you experience. The world you see, the circumstances you encounter, and the people you interact with are all shaped by the dominant beliefs you hold. When you persist in a particular assumption, reality has no choice but to conform to it. The key is understanding that this process is not instantaneous. It requires faith, patience, and unwavering commitment to what you have chosen to believe. Most people waver in their assumptions. They may believe in abundance for a moment, but as soon as they check their bank account and see a number that contradicts their assumption, they revert to their old belief in lack. They may assume they are loved, but the moment they face rejection or loneliness, they begin to question their worth. This is why many never see the fulfillment of their desires. They do not persist. They let external circumstances dictate their inner world instead of holding firm to their chosen assumption. Reality bends to persistence, not to fleeting thoughts or momentary affirmations. The world does not change because you simply wish for it to. It changes because you persist in the conviction that it already has. This is the secret that so many overlook. When you assume something and hold to it without allowing doubt to creep in, the entire structure of reality begins to shift in response. The people you meet, the opportunities that arise, and the events that unfold all begin to align with the state of being you have claimed as your own. But you must remain steadfast in that assumption, regardless of what your senses tell you. Most people let circumstances dictate their beliefs. If they see evidence of failure, they assume they are failing. If they see a lack of progress, they assume their efforts are in vain. But the outer world is simply a reflection of past assumptions. And if you continue to react to what is, you will keep creating more of the same. You must break the cycle by persisting in a new assumption, even when there is no visible proof to support it. You must trust in the unseen, knowing that what you have assumed is already taking shape beneath the surface. There is no power in the external world greater than the power within you. Everything you see around you was once an unseen assumption. Every success story, every great achievement, every miraculous transformation began with an individual who dared to persist in their vision, even when there was no evidence to support it. They lived as if it were already true, and by doing so they called it into existence. You must do the same. Doubt is the greatest enemy of persistence. The moment you allow doubt to take root, you introduce resistance into your creation. The mind will always try to question, analyze, and rationalize. It will look at the external world and point out every reason why your assumption cannot be true. It will remind you of past failures, highlight obstacles, and insist that reality does not change so easily. But the mind is simply reflecting old conditioning. If you listen to it, you will remain stuck in the same cycle. You must train yourself to persist beyond doubt. When negative thoughts arise, do not entertain them. When circumstances seem to contradict your assumption, remind yourself that they are only temporary echoes of past beliefs. Hold firm to your new assumption as if your life depended on it. Speak it, think it, feel it, embody it. Do not allow anything to shake your conviction. If you persist, reality will have no choice but to shift. The reason so many fail to manifest their desires is that they give up too soon. They assume something for a day, a week, or even a month, but when they see no immediate change, they abandon their belief. They return to their old assumptions, reinforcing the same unwanted circumstances. But the truth is, the moment you assume something with unwavering persistence, it is already done. The only thing that delays its appearance is your own wavering belief. Consider the process of planting a seed. When you plant a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that beneath the surface, unseen forces are at work. You water it, nurture it, and give it time to grow. If you were to uproot it every time doubt crept in, it would never have the chance to take root. The same principle applies to assumption. Once you plant the seed of belief, you must nurture it with persistence, trusting that it will manifest in its perfect time. There is nothing in the universe that can deny you what you assume with full conviction. Reality is not separate from you, it is created by you. If you persist in the assumption that you are wealthy, the world will move in ways beyond your comprehension to bring that wealth to you. If you persist in the assumption that you are loved, love will find its way to you, regardless of past experiences. If you persist in the assumption of success, opportunities will arise, doors will open, and circumstances will align to fulfill that assumption. But you must remain faithful to it, no matter what appears in the moment. You are not bound by time. The external world takes time to catch up to your inner world. But the moment you assume something, it is already real. You may not see the evidence right away, but that does not mean it is not in motion. Everything you assume with conviction is already set in motion, working behind the scenes to align itself with your belief. Your only task is to persist until the physical world reflects what you have claimed internally. The mind may try to convince you that you are lying to yourself, that you are delusional for assuming something that is not yet visible. But reality itself is an illusion, shaped by the assumptions you hold. The moment you fully embody an assumption, the illusion shifts to match it. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. There is no secret technique, no external force you need to seek out. The only thing required is persistence. Do not look to the world for confirmation. Do not seek validation from others. Do not waver when doubt arises. Simply persist. Persist in the feeling of already having what you desire. Persist in the belief that it is already yours. Persist until it becomes so natural that you no longer question it. And when you do, reality will bend to your assumption, for it has no choice but to reflect what you have persistently claimed as true. Reality is shaped by the assumptions you persist in, and when you fully commit to an idea, the external world has no choice but to conform. The moment you decide that something is yours and refuse to accept anything contrary to that belief, the universe reorganizes itself to bring your assumption into physical reality. The power to shape your world is not in effort, struggle, or external action. It is in the unwavering persistence of your assumption. Most people allow their assumptions to be dictated by what they see, hear, and experience. They look at their bank account and assume lack. They observe their relationships and assume loneliness. They assess their progress and assume failure. But all of these conditions are simply reflections of past assumptions. not fixed realities. If you continue to react to what is, you will only reinforce it. But if you choose to persist in a new assumption, despite what your senses tell you, you begin to alter the very fabric of your reality. There is no force outside of you dictating what you can or cannot have. The only limitation is your own willingness to persist. Every person who has ever achieved great success, overcome hardship, or transformed their life has done so by holding steadfastly to an inner vision. They did not let temporary setbacks deter them. They did not allow doubt to take root. They persisted in their belief, even when everything around them seemed to contradict it. And in time, reality yielded to their assumption. Your assumption is like a seed planted in the soil of consciousness. If you plant a seed and continuously dig it up to check if it is growing, you will only hinder its progress. In the same way, if you assume something and then doubt it, question it, or seek external validation, you disrupt the natural process of its manifestation. The key is to persist without wavering, to hold the assumption so firmly in mind that it becomes your dominant reality, even before the external world confirms it. Most people underestimate the power of their assumptions because they expect immediate results. They assume something for a day or two, and when they see no change, they revert to their old way of thinking. But reality operates on a delay. There is a period of unseen transformation before the physical manifestation appears. The only thing required during this period is persistence. Imagine a sculptor working on a block of marble. At first, the block appears unchanged. The sculptor continues chiseling, refining, and shaping, even though the final form is not yet visible. If the sculptor gave up after the first few strokes, the masterpiece would never emerge. The same is true of your assumptions. You must continue holding them, even when there is no visible sign of progress. Every moment you persist, you are shaping the unseen forces of reality. There is no greater power in existence than the persistence of an assumed belief. Everything you desire already exists in a state of potential. The only thing separating you from it is your ability to assume it as already yours. You do not need to know how it will come to pass. You do not need to force circumstances to change. Your only task is to persist in the assumption until it becomes so real in your mind that the external world has no choice but to reflect it. Doubt is the only thing that can delay or deny your manifestation. The moment you begin to question whether your assumption is working, you introduce resistance into the process. Doubt is the act of assuming something contrary to your desire. When you persist in an assumption, you cannot entertain its opposite. You cannot assume abundance while simultaneously fearing lack. You cannot assume love while doubting your worthiness. You cannot assume success while fixating on failure. The mind cannot hold two opposing beliefs at once. Whichever you persist in will become your reality. This is why persistence is the key to transformation. It is not enough to assume something for a moment or a day. You must live in the certainty of its truth, regardless of what the outside world appears to show you. When you persist in the assumption that you already own everything you desire, reality moves to confirm it. Doors open where there were none before. Opportunities arise in unexpected ways. People and circumstances shift in alignment with your belief. The world is a mirror, reflecting back to you the state of consciousness you occupy. If you want to change what appears in the mirror, you must first change within. Persist in the assumption that you are already the person who has what you desire. Walk, talk, think, and feel as if it is already true. Do not wait for evidence. Become the embodiment of your assumption now. When you persist in this way, the world cannot help but conform. The process is simple, yet most fail because they do not persist. They allow their senses to deceive them. They let external circumstances shake their belief. They listen to the doubts of others and question their own power. But those who persist, who refuse to accept anything less than the fulfillment of their assumption, are the ones who reshape reality itself. Nothing is outside your reach. There is no desire too great, no dream too distant. The only requirement is that you persist in the assumption that it is already yours. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. Do not look to the world for confirmation. Simply assume, persist, and allow reality to catch up to your belief. When you do, you will see the world shift in ways that seem miraculous, yet were inevitable all along. There is nothing in this world that can deny you what you assume with unwavering conviction. The external world is not separate from you, it is shaped by you. The moment you claim something as yours and persist in that assumption, reality begins to shift in ways beyond your comprehension. You do not need to beg, chase, or force anything into existence. Simply live in the certainty that what you desire is already yours, and the world will adjust to reflect that truth. Doubt and hesitation are the only barriers to your manifestation. The moment you waver, you delay the fulfillment of your desire. But when you remain steadfast, refusing to let external circumstances shake your belief, you align yourself with the creative power that governs all things. You do not need to look for signs or seek proof. Persist in the assumption and the proof will appear. You hold within you the power to shape your reality. Persist, believe, and live as though you already own everything you desire. The world will respond accordingly, for it has no choice but to reflect the state of being you have claimed as your own.